So what is the dynamic between Charles and Eric in this film?
Pretty antagonistic, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of loss,
Hurt,
turmoil,
pain.
love, anger.
Reconciliation.
Not yet.
Really?
Well,
We're doing
a little bit, yeah.
There's like a false reconciliation that seems like it's going to... I won't give it away.
I'm not sure it is false. I think it's
Yeah.
genuine, and but you know, again, sort of, it's just a very sort of different means that these two men take in terms of achieving what they believe to be the best outcome for mutant society, and so that will mean that there'll always be conflict there. But I think the respect is great still. But for me, I think the main thing was abandonment, perhaps, on both sides, and a feeling of loss, because what we saw in First Class was, you know, two characters that realized that they were so alike and could speak to one another on a very equal platform. And so there was a great bond between these two men. And then, of course, you know, like I said, the tragedy is that they can't seem to agree on the means to achieve what both of them seem to sort of want.
And did that dynamic come through? What was the dynamic like between you two on set?
None of that was there.
There was no dynamic. He was absent whenever I was on camera and vice versa. We don't like to get in each other's way, because when I'm being that good, I don't really need to be looking into his eyes, being all glazed over and tired. And
Tennis
like
ball is
that.
good enough for James.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Gotcha. James, when we meet Charles in this story, he's deeply troubled. What's happened to him?
He has, you know, he's suffered great physical trauma, and in his eyes, like Michael just said as well, he feels abandoned by Eric and by Raven as well. Raven, and she ain't been Raven in a long time. Mistake. And and so he's. I think he was dealing with that all right for a little while, but it started to eat away at him, and he's crumbled. He's got a lot of shame. He's carrying a lot of shame because he has given up, and he's got a lot of self-loathing, and so he's hiding from the world, and he's resorted to drug abuse and alcohol abuse, and he is a mess.
He stopped cleaning himself.
He stopped cleaning regularly, which is actually for psychological health. Cleaning daily is a massive thing.
Absolutely,
for your psychological
it is.
health. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah, stopped cleaning.
So there's a funky smell around him in
well
all
as
the
funky
scenes. I
flavor.
don't know if you can see, like Hugh sometimes is like in the scenes. It's sort of there's just a little flaring of the nostrils whenever you're around. It's that sort of
and Beast's like
pungent
Magneto, and you're
aroma.
like Charles.
So that's why he's friends with Beast.
Charlie.
They can get along.
Exactly.
And when we saw when we saw Eric last in First Class, he had allied himself with Mystique.
Mm-hmm.
So what's happening with the three of them, Charles, Mystique, and Magneto in this film?
Well, you know, I think, you know, Mystique and Magneto have been, the war has been alive since they left that beach in Cuba, and we lost a lot of our comrades or colleagues, and then of course Magneto gets arrested. So she's the lone assassin out there fighting for the sort of, you know, the mutant cause. So I haven't seen her, you know, but the next thing that I find out is that she's a threat to mutant survival, because her DNA and her genetic makeup is going to be used to create these sentinels, which essentially are going to wipe us out in the future. So she now has become a liability